Do you know what Watagwan, where you can get news about the Jamaican culture and just learn about how Jamaicans are doing, as I said, yard and abroad.
You get to learn a new Jamaican patois word or even a Jamaican phrase.
I look forward to the patois word of the day.
The patois word is pasa pasa.
Word today is taco ram.
Our word of the day is duppy.
Twang. No little twang. Not true.
I enjoy tuning in to Watagwan.
It happens every Friday at 7 p.m. So check them out. And bye from Toronto.
Dodds, Québec et la Jamaïque. Écoute Watagwan. Yes, Watagwan.
I am a big fan of Watagwan.
Relevant and entertaining, so keep up the good work.
Watch Watagwan.
Big up yourself. Watagwan.
Watagwan. Yes, Watagwan.
Watch Watagwan.
Always say I'm going to Wagwan in a yard. Check it out. 7 p.m. every Friday. Hello, everybody in our Watagwan national land. Welcome back. It's another Friday. And guess who is here again today? You guessed it right. Yep, your girl from Bungatown is back. And once you hear that, you know it's Friday and Watagwan National is on. So send the text, send the messages, send the WhatsApp, send the iLink, whatever it is. Go upon the lane, go to the street corner, go upon the back veranda or the front veranda. But wherever you go, it's time to let everybody know that Watagwan National is on. And your girl from Bungatown, your most favorite host, is back for another Friday. We want to say a special welcome to those who are listening on Fresh FM Radio London. And to let you also know that Watagwan is also available as a podcast on Spotify, Podbeam, Google, Amazon, iHeart, Player FM, and all other major podcasting platforms. You can connect to those links on our website at www.watagwan.ca. And I'm sure you know what's coming after that. Yep. Remember, Gwaan is 2 A's. Can you believe another week has come to an end and we have officially ushered out summer and we are now into fall. The trees outside, I'm just looking at one. It's nice and orangey and greeny. It's so beautiful. But when it gets to this time of the year, the worry for me starts because you know what that means? Winter is coming. Yes, the trees know it. It is gorgeous to watch the leaves change the colors. As a matter of fact, does that happen where you live? Yes, and if it does, tell us where you live in the comments section. So just drop it in the link where you are tuning in to listen to Watagwan or to watch Watagwan National from. Make we know if a dung a yard, if a broad, or a big foreign, little foreign, medium-sized foreign, wherever it is, tell us in the link below. It's another week to tackle a sometimes taboo topic. Today, we will hear from Queenie Love about some important things to understand and address in dealing with love life, and relationships as we get older. How to treat oneself in the process. How do you create inclusion and comfort while building comfort? Please stay tuned because that is coming up in, you know it, yup, a time to reason with the big man, Donovan Simon. So stay tuned because we're getting to there. We are now at your host with the mostest favorite part of the show. Yup, it is patois time. It's a time where we share a phrase or a word from the beautiful Jamaican patois. And today, the word is bratopsy. When you hear somebody say, watch him this a galant son, nah, no bratopsy. What does that mean? When somebody say, you're not no bratopsy. All right. So you do that. You know, I like it when you engage with me and you keep me entertained. And you do that by commenting about the patois word. And also, when we get to time to reason, you drop the comments in the comment section below. You know what happens when you do that? Yup. You get your name called big up on Watagwan National. So tell me what bratopsy mean. If you ever heard it before, if you know what it means, and just use it in a sentence. But the patois word for the day is bratopsy. Yep. All right. So last week we had a conversation with Dr. Sylvanus Thompson. He joined us about the upcoming regional global Jamaica Diaspora Conference. He also spoke about his reason for doing all he did as a volunteer in the diaspora. He mentioned the many ways he and others continue to support Jamaica from afar in healthcare and community development. He pointed to the many programs available to do that and that the council provides access to programs and processes to make it easier to support. All are invited to join the conference, and there is heightened commitment to action. We love it when you engage with us. And you do that by keeping the comments coming, right? If you missed last week's show, you can go back and watch it on our YouTube or our Facebook channels. Just go onto the website and you'll find the links there. And another thing, in order to make Watagwan National get worldwide, we want to reach to every corner or every circle of the world, you share, you like, and you comment. Remember what I said? It does something to the algorithm when you do that, because what it does, it make it pop up on your friend them page, so them can like and follow. So guess what? We all in the mix and just a switch and soda, right? So share it like good food. You know, when you get some good tight dumpling and good peppery tin mackerel and you just want everybody get some, yeah, someone you for share it. All right. So we will now get to the news and share what's happening across Canada. Plan to attend the Regional Jamaica Diaspora Conference for Canada tomorrow, Saturday, September 23. It is a hybrid event with in-person locations in Toronto, Montreal, Calgary, and Vancouver, with live streaming on YouTube and virtual engagements to ensure maximum participation. To register to attend, go to www.gjdccanada.com for more details on the agenda, speakers, and workshop. The conference is about engagement and collaboration. In Toronto, the JCA Ontario is hosting its annual Scholarship Awards banquet tomorrow evening, September 23rd, at the JCA Centre, 995 Oro Road, Toronto, starting at 6 p.m. EST. The Ryan Knight will deliver the keynote presentation, and Sammy Ray will be the host for the event. Tickets are being sold for $80. For more information and to purchase your tickets, go to www.jcaontario.org. In Montreal, the Collective Kitchen Project and the Jamaican Association of Montreal presents free family cooking classes for families with at least one child up to 5 years old. Join them this coming Monday, September 25th, at the Jamaica Building located at 4065 Jean Talon West at 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. to learn and create new recipes, take home new skills, and a meal. To register and for more information, email jamfootstepsprogram@gmail.com or call 514-737-8229. This is the last session of the season. Now just a toops a little news from Dungayard. A magnitude 4.9 earthquake was felt across Jamaica. An earthquake measuring 4.9 on the Richter scale was felt across Jamaica at approximately 7:31 p.m. last night. No damage was reported up to press time last night. The Android earthquake alert system said the quake was also felt in Cuba. The epicenter was said to be 8 kilometers from Buff Bay in Portland. The earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies, in its preliminary report, said the quake was felt in St. Thomas, Portland, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and Clarendon.
Africa Fashion Week London is back. The largest annual fashion week in Europe, profiling African-inspired designs in its entirety, invites you to its spectacular two-day event. Whether you want to network with fashion industry gurus or wish to purchase a one-of-a-kind Afrocentric memento in our renowned exhibition marketplace, Africa Fashion Week London promises to immerse you in all things Africa and more. Tickets are selling fast now. Get your tickets at eventbrite.co.uk. Also, don't miss the opportunity to showcase or exhibit your designs at the Fashion Week. Register now at africafashionweeklondonuk.com. Africa Fashion Week London.
And now it is my next favorite part of the show. And it is a time to reason with none other than the big man himself, Donovan Simon. So grab the coffee tea, grab the cocoa tea, or the chocolate tea, some tough crackers, and some Ado bread, and come back because it is now time to all a little reason.
This has been a great discussion. David, thanks for taking the time. All right. What's up, Miss Nicole?
Yeah.
You're just there, so?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be a little bit more than that, man.
Winter is coming, so.
Listen, winter is coming somewhere, summer is coming somewhere, fall is coming somewhere, right? And since we're going to maybe talk about love and stuff today, maybe you should fall in love with winter.
Oh Lord Jesus!
If you fall in love with it, your perspective changes about the thing, right?
Yeah, I guess. And since I'm living here.
Well, that's like go, because I mean, if you never want winter, you could have lived like Saudi Arabia or any place there.
Yeah. True.
Right?
Yeah, true.
Anyway, we have a long one. We have a tight schedule today, so we're going to jump and have a reason, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, man. All right. Have a good reason.
All right, folks. Welcome here. Another time to reason here on Gwaan. My name is Donovan, and I hope you have had a fantastic week. Busy week for me, but today, boy, we're pausing to talk about love and love life and relationships. And I'm going to have a friend of mine join here in a little bit. She's a relationship development coach. She's the host of the podcast, The Relationship Zone. She's a mom, a grandma, a speaker of life's little lessons. She's a lover of life, love, and hope. Queenie Love is going to join us here in a minute to dive into the topic of love, life, and relationships as we get older. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm wonderful, Donovan. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Long day, but full day of blessings, you know. So
yeah,
giving thanks and enjoying the things that life have to offer.
That's always good.
All right, listen, it's been a while since we have chatted, and I want to make most of the opportunity
Okay.
because we're going to dig into some serious things, right?
I know.
Right. Normally, you would have the three men on the other side giving you some male perspectives, but today we're going to benefit from a little bit of a balance. And the topic is love life, and relationships as we get older. And maybe where we should start is your own perspective. And I'm sure, like you and I were talking, the stories we talk about is from the path we have taken.
Yeah.
How does getting older impact the way we see love, the way we see love life and relationships?
Well, I think that getting older, we get a different perspective because we've lived a little bit, right? And many of us, we've already gone through the divorces or the bad breakups, or, we raised our children. You get to a point where you're just not taking the same things that you used to take. You're not tolerating the same things. Your needs are different. And so I think that causes us to shift a little bit. We still may be seeking love. We still may be seeking, relationship and connection, right? But it's different than when we were 22 or even 32. When I think when you get like 42, 52, it's like, okay, listen. So I think that's the impact. I think it's just the mindset. The mindset changes, and it causes many of us to behave differently.
Yeah. And you use the word mindset and change, which I want to pick up on, because it suggests that, and maybe it's not even a suggestion, there are some things that we have to unlearn as we get to being a little bit older, right? To influence our approach. Is that a real thing in your view?
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely, I used to say things like we have to unlearn the learning, right? Because, because I think we learn the bad habits. We learn, we compromise. We learn how to compromise ourselves, our own values, our own, desires. And we learn really, really poor habits and behaviors. And they show up and they wreck the relationship. And then we're wondering what happened. But we can't do the same thing and expect a different result. Like we all know that's craziness. So,
but do you think in that whole learning, unlearning process, there's comfort, or what does it look like and feel like?
Well, I think that there's comfort in doing the same thing sometimes, right? It's that unknown that gets a little bit uncomfortable. But I think life teaches us, and wisdom should teach us, that sometimes you just got to do something different, and a little bit of being uncomfortable to reap the real reward that you truly want. That's not that bad of a sacrifice. Like, that's okay. It's when we think we're comfortable. We want to deal with the same madness because we're scared of the unknown. Think about how much time you may invest in that space. How healthy is that for real? So I think we should lean in and welcome being uncomfortable as it relates to change for the better. You're muted.
Good. You talk about leaning in, but I want to pick on one little thing before we lean in a little bit more. And it's the perspective of men and women as we get older. Like, I know you have the boys chat from time to time. As we get older, are you hearing the same things from either side?
Guys saying the same thing as women. We're all saying the same thing. It's like, here's my truth. We're all fed up with something, right? I always tell people, I think we're just fed up with ourselves. My girlfriends and I were just out the other day, and I said, hey, I just make poor choices sometimes. So, and I think that, we have to own that truth, right? Because if I think I'm fed up in dating, no, truly, I'm probably fed up with some of the things I'm doing myself, right? I just got to be honest about that. So I think a lot of us are just truly fed up with our own selves. And of course, we just kind of project that on other people. But no, it's our own poor decisions that we continue to make. And then we want to blame other people because we've made the poor decision. So no, I think the fed up is probably, and I hear the guys say it too, but I'm like, no, I'm like, no, I just make really bad decisions in relationships sometimes.
Yeah, I think all of us have in different ways, right? And when you look at it that way, my thought is, are we only going to learn from experience, or can some of these things be taught? So, when we look at the generation coming up, are there things that we can teach them? Are there things we can look at from others and say, boy, I've got to take a different path, or we just all have to just take it on the nose?
So, Donovan, could anyone teach you whenever you were in love or infatuated or chasing that person? Could anyone tell you, especially, many of us have chased the wrong person. Like, we just knew already, this is not going to work out. This is going to end poorly. I'm still going after you.
But you still keep going because
I'm so intrigued by you. So, and I can see the final destination, but I'm just going to have a good time right now. Could anyone really tell you during that process that, hey, Donovan, you really need to get off this ride? It's crashing, and it's crashing fast.
Well, they could. You possibly wouldn't take the advice because you're enjoying.
You're enjoying the bumpy ride.
You're enjoying the bumpy ride and the elements thereof.
Exactly. So to your question though, we can only hope that young individuals will listen, because we've lived, right? We've made a lot of mistakes. We've had experiences that maybe they weren't necessarily, typical mistake. It was an experience that maybe didn't end well. We would like that, our young people to at least be able to hear that and to see like the error in their ways, and to understand like, hey, this may not be a healthy relationship for you, right? Or a really good decision. But, the heart wants what the heart wants when it wants it. And I think that we do have to learn through trial and error. But I believe that as we age, I don't think we have to continue to bump our heads as often. But when you're young, you're just going through it. You got to try to figure that out on your own. But as your age, my age, we've seen it, we know. And now I think, we come into a space of establishing boundaries and not wavering on those boundaries.
Yeah, I'm glad you used that word, because that's where I was going next in terms of boundaries. Because as we get older, all this experience teaches us, the same path will likely give you the same result. And talk to us a little bit about the setting of boundaries. And I want to also look at it in the context of care for one's self.
So, boundaries sometimes gets a really like a bad rap, right? Because sometimes boundaries can come off as someone's trying to control another person. I think that in relationships that we as a couple should sit down and speak about what boundaries look like to each person, right? And figure out what that is, because my boundary for something may not be yours, but we should always find like a sweet spot, right? It's kind of a negotiation, right? Because what I think that a boundary allows is for a couple to come into alignment versus being opposite of each other. But here's what I've learned. When you're in a relationship and the boundaries do not match up and there's no compromise, there's no alignment, you're in the wrong relationship. Because what you're going to do is compromise yourself, and you're going to become someone that I apologize for that. You're going to become someone that you don't even recognize yourself anymore, because you're trying to bend and yield to the other person fully. But boundaries in relationships should be between two people that have agreed that this works for us. You got to create that parameter, right? You got to create those, what do you call the bumpers? Like when they're bowling, you got to put the bumpers up, right? Because these are the things that we don't want to go outside of, because what I believe going outside of this is going to cause more harm than good for the growth of the relationship and for the integrity of who I am. But I don't think that people have these conversations and they go into it open enough, and they can say, I can see that boundary. Maybe
Yeah.
this won't work for me fully, but at least I'm willing to meet you at this point. It's important to find someone that's willing to at least meet you halfway.
It's interesting that you say that, because isn't it sometimes uncomfortable? And many of these issues are uncomfortable to get into a conversation about, especially with a new partner.
Yeah.
So how do you get there? What's the approach? And as you get older, what is there a way to make it easier?
Well, Donovan, I would rather ask you this: like, if you don't get there, what happens? Right? If
You keep making the same mistake, or you get apathetic and you give up on life, and you give up on love, and you give
you
up on
could
relationships.
exactly become super cynical, and you're just like jaded and miserable, right? But that's not what we want. We want to have an opportunity to come together and to bring each other together. So yes, you have mature conversations, hopefully with mature people, right? So at this stage, as we get older, I don't think it should become harder, but I do understand that it do, because some people are still very childish. And some individuals have been doing the same poor behaviors and practices for so long that they don't feel like they want to change, right?
Yeah.
But that just might not be your person.
Yeah.
It is okay if this person doesn't see or understand what a healthy relationship could look like with you. They may not be your person. And I think that may be the harder thing for us to accept, because again, the heart wants what the heart wants. So you find someone you're intrigued by, and you're trying to force them to be something that they're not.
Yeah. Or you start misallocating the different elements of the relationship.
Absolutely.
Right. I want to talk about sex and intimacy in a little bit, but first I'm going to touch on culture. Is there an impact from culture on how we look at love and life and relationships, especially as we get older, right? Yeah. And I'll use context of I've seen, and I don't know about other cultures, I can only speak of mine, where people slug it out for years with emptiness and with an unfulfilling situation. And as kids, you look on and you have no clue of how unhappy people might be. It's only as you've gotten older you realize that was bad.
Yeah. Very unhealthy, very toxic, doesn't allow you to grow. I think as it relates to culture, I think that there was a time where maybe for survival's sake, it was necessary to tough it out no matter what. And I'm definitely not saying walk away. I'm just saying that you have to figure out what's best for you, both of you, right? And whenever you're in a relationship and it's a dead end, do you want to stay in there and die that way? Or do you want to free each other and at least, go after the life that you truly desire if you cannot have that together? I do believe that culturally some individuals do stay. Even in my culture, it was normal to just stay. And some people sleep in separate homes, or, of course, sleep in separate beds, but separate homes. They have two different lives. I don't think that's not a successful marriage because you've been in that situation for the last 40 years. That's not successful. That means that you just kind of, hung out and did life kind of together. It's but again, sometimes that works for some people, right? But I think, again, you must know yourself, and does that work for you? If it does not work for you, if you cannot see living your life that way, then why do it?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But part of the change is what the challenge is, because it's like sometimes moving out of a city or moving out of a country, or taking that plunge against the odds. It's this unlearning that we're talking about, especially in a culture where it's not necessarily always encouraged to be adventurous.
Yeah. And I get that. I think some of it, though, people, they've become kind of accustomed to the misery of this is what marriage is supposed to be like, right? So what is a drag? And I remember hearing, like, as I grew up, that marriage was like a ball and chain, or the wife was a ball and chain. But yeah, I'm like, what is that? So it has this such negative connotation. Like,
yeah.
Who did this, right? Some miserable, angry person that was staying in a marriage that they did not want to be in. And now they come up with these, I don't know, connotations that are so super negative that no one wants to get married. But they're still married, like, so we can't listen to those people. But I just don't think that you got to start looking at the positive, right? You got to switch this thing around. But again, you got to also get a partner that wants to see the positive with you, right? And can tackle the tough stuff, because in relationships, you have to be able to have hard conversations with love. You can't become the enemy, and every time you want to share something or try to talk about something or try to prevent something, that suddenly you're the problem. No, we got to have the tough conversations with love and with the intent to move forward together, right? Not to have a divisive conversation that just continues to put bricks between us.
Yeah. That said, there's also elements of our culture, and I want to pick your brain on this one. That as we get older, we also might want to shift around, like what's ladylike, and who is the head, and submission. How does that play out as we get older and look at love and life and relationships?
Now, Don, I mean, I don't think that there's a cookie cutter way to do relationship, right? And I know you're right. I think that this shift with head of household, who's the head? I mean, whoever we can both be the head sometimes, because everybody got to they got to get in their own lane, right? They got to do their own thing. And maybe over here, I'm better at it. Maybe over there, you're better at it. But again, right? Remember, I said this earlier, like I think for me personally, we should be looking for partners to collaborate with, right? Yeah. Then we don't have to battle about head. And I think honoring who does what best and not being in competition. Being married or dating and you're in competition with your partner will destroy you. Mm-hmm. So I think you should be looking for, again, someone to collaborate with, to be in concert with. And I know I romanticize this and I make it sound easy. It's not. But what is easy is you knowing yourself and you deciding what's not going to work for you. Meaning you see that relationship, you see that person, you can adore them and appreciate them, but know for sure, this is probably not going to work for me long term. Yeah. So I don't need to even go down this road. Then we don't have to worry and argue about head of household. But going back to the point of head of household or head of the relationship, making these decisions, I think honoring people's strengths and also supporting them in their weaknesses, we don't have to then debate on that, right? We'll know who's the stronger vessel in certain spaces. And just being able to honor that and moving ego out of the way. That's probably the bigger problem. Moving ego out of the way.
How do you do that? Because isn't that kind of a little bit of a trade, especially for those who, for the better part of their life, ego has been a big component of their personality.
Oh my God, ego is the worst. But you got to humble yourself. Come on, Donovan. Like again, the older I get, the more I know. I do not know everything. I tell everybody I know nothing, right? But I'm here to learn. There's all these different components to a relationship. Can you learn from your partner? Are you even interested in learning from them?
Yeah.
Right? That allows you to move ego when you're interested in learning. You got some people in relationships that know everything and they're not willing to learn anything from their partner. They'll go learn from the neighbor. They won't learn from the partner. What is the reason for being with a person that you choose not to even learn from? You are committed to really not even learning or being a student of the person that you're involved with. We should both be students in our relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to learn from you. You learn from me. That gets rid of the ego. being able to have the conversations about what it feels like, whenever you put in certain situations. I just don't think that I think we communicate, but I don't think we hear each other enough and honor what the other person is saying.
Yeah. Where does self-care fit into this whole equation, especially as we get older? And in recent times, it has gotten a life of its own, this whole concept of self-care. Where does it fit in all of this?
Yeah, I think self-care it starts with self-awareness, Donovan. I think that if you don't know yourself, then how will you know what type of care that you need? How do you know that? Right? You may start band-aiding it because you see something on Instagram or TikTok, or maybe you hear something and you think that applies to you. So here you go, trying to put that on yourself, whether it is taking time to do this or reading this book, or taking a trip to Dubai or whatever, right? Constantly sacrificing yourself and being a martyr for your spouse. And no, you gotta know yourself. So self-awareness comes before self-care, in my opinion. I personally, I know when I've had enough, and maybe just in the workspace, and what do I need to go to in that moment? Because I know me, I know what brings me balance. It doesn't matter what anyone else try to give me in that moment. I know exactly what I need for my own self-care, my own mental health care. And so me, I like to get up and go walk and get out the door by myself for hours, and then I'll come back. But that's what I need. And I also think that, and I encourage people in relationships to know what you need as far as self-care, and be able to articulate that with your partner, so they realize it. So they don't feel like, oh, you're avoiding me, or you don't want to be bothered with me. No, I just need some time for myself to center, because we all have stressful days and weeks and months and moments, right? And I think you just got to make sure that you are okay. And whatever that looks like, you make sure that you're good with it.
A few weeks ago, we had Dr. Unati, and we're talking about menopause. We're going to talk about intimacy and sex, and how does it fit into the equation for love life and relationships as we get older? What do you talk to people about where this is concerned?
Man, listen, I'm going through my own. Where's that doctor at? Because I need to talk. My God. So let's see. What can I answer first? Give me the first question, because I got my own issue.
Well, yeah, where does it fit? Intimacy, sex, self-care in this whole equation of love and love life as we get older.
All right. So sex. If you can still have sex, and have as much as you possibly can. Because be careful, of course. But listen, the older you get, I will speak for many women that I know. I can't speak for men. I can just tell you what I've experienced with the men that I've talked to about this. But the older you get, it's like it changes, right? The scales just tilt. And women that I've talked to, they are at this time in their life where they're enjoying sex more freely, want it more often. We want it who we want it with. We have choices now. And you just want to enjoy and embrace intimacy in a very freeing way, because many of us have already raised our children. We finished school. We're on the back end of our career. There's so many other things that we focused on, because, women are notorious for focusing on everything else as we're young and we're raising these families. We're so focused on all of that, trying to get all that right, that sometimes, sex goes out the window, and it's just like whenever the partner wants it, or whenever, whatever is available, right? But then you get to this new stage in your life, and it's like, okay, I got choices. and I can speak up about what I like, and I know my body, and I want to be intimate, and I want it this way. So I think that the older we get, the more we can explore the things that we probably had to either set aside or we didn't get a chance to explore. And when you kind of get around your friends and you're starting to learn new things about yourself and your body, you want to express that. And even with, but the other side, with the men that I'm seeing, older men, older meaning, maybe in their 50s, 60s, so on and so forth, it's kind of slowed down for them. So there's an imbalance going on here, right? I still believe that everyone they must know themselves, and they have to meet life where it's at. Like, hey, this is where I am. This is the stage I'm in. Let me find my partner that understands it, it can work with me. If you're partnering, I don't even want to get into if you're not partnering, because there's a whole lot for people that's not partnering. You can do all kind of things. The sky's the limit. But I will say that intimacy as we get older and finding the right partner, is super important, because we are not dead. We're still exploring, and now we can explore at a whole different level. I encourage people, again, to, of course, knowing yourself and being honest about this upfront early on. 40, 50, 60, you're meeting people. Tell them like your level, like where you are. Are you intimate, and what does that look like? Because again, that can ruin a relationship, and I want people to come together and enjoy, have good sex.
All right. Hey, Queenie.
I'm here.
All right. Yeah, struggling a little bit with our internet there. I think your camera is off. Not sure if you're seeing
Oh
that.
yeah.
All right, here we go. All right. Sorry about that, folks. We made it happen. Maybe it's a sex talk.
Okay.
You've done that before.
Of course.
That's fine. Yeah, so we're talking about the need or the value and the importance of intimacy and ensuring that we understand each other and we're communicating. I want to go on the other side of that equation, though, where is it likely that some people as they get older, get apathetic and they just give up on love life and relationships and feel like they're destined to singleness?
I think this is definitely a thing. I joke about sex, even though I'm serious about it. I'm serious. But as it relates to intimacy brings people together and the connection that many of us most desire. And when you ask that question, do people give up on it? I think when individuals cannot attain the intimacy, the connection, and hold on to it, we do get a little bit tired and we do give up. We do get frustrated, but that doesn't mean we don't want it, that doesn't mean that at all. It means that we're just tired, right? You kind of start feeling like, well, how do I find it? Where do I meet someone? We want to be seen and heard and understood. And when you cannot find that out there, or you feel like you can't find that, then yeah, your intimacy desire, it sucks, it lacks. It begins to wane because you're trying to get into survival mode and acceptance. It's kind of like a grief cycle, right? You get into this acceptance mode because you're just like, this is just my life. But is that really where you want to be? No. But you got to survive because, you're blessed to still be living here, got all these years ahead of you. And I don't think many people want to live alone, but you get tired of the disappointment. You get tired of the being let down. You get tired of trying to keep up just for acceptance sake, and you can't, still not working out for you. So, but I encourage people, Donovan, like, just stay. There is somebody for everyone. Always is. Do not give up on that. Find your tribe, find your circle, get out with people that enjoy the things that you enjoy. Don't just sit there and give up, and you're not always going to have someone just knock at your door. The person that is your partner is not going to always knock at your door. You have to invite them in once you find them, right? But you got to get out there. I don't care where you are in your life. I don't care what phase you are in your life. If you like, swimming, then go to the pool. If you like polo matches, then go there. But begin to find people that are in those spaces that are probably similar to you. They may be single as well. Don't give up with all this life ahead of you and just don't do that. We're not meant to be alone like that. I don't believe personally.
Yeah, go run. What do? You run your 5Ks and all the other things.
A hike,
Yeah, hike up into the bushes of nowhere.
Absolutely. There's people, available that are doing the same thing. So I just encourage people, like, don't give up. Instead, get out there. It's okay.
Yeah. All right, listen, time's clicking and we're gonna have to run. What's your word for those who are filled with regret, remorse, resignation, or in some cases over exuberance? Who knows? Like, what's the word of balance for us as we get older and we look at a topic like this?
Oh, I would say forgiveness of the things that you could not change, and accepting the things that you are blessed to have currently, and look forward to what you have ahead of you, because life is big. It is big and it's wide. And it's a blessing to have it. So, don't be discouraged and don't take anything for granted. And those are my words.
Well, on that note, we'll pause. Queenie, always a pleasure to chat with you and to pick your brain on these topics.
Thank you.
All right, take care, and we'll talk. All right.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.
Listen, this has been a great discussion. David, thanks for taking the time. All right.
That was a good one. Okay, well, it seems Donovan is saying, as he's saying, he's having some technical difficulties where he's at. So I hope I'm being heard and seen. But welcome back, and I hope you were in tune to the conversation and you learned some things. I listened and I got some good. Okay, Donovan, I see like you're moving your back.
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, today was a tough one with the internet, folks.
Yeah. But you
But
know
we learn
what?
a few things.
Yes.
I hope you learn, especially as a younger person.
Yes. Yes, I did. I did. I did.
But it's all a matter of time. But you know what? I maybe of all the things that I took away from it, I know we had a little break, was love life, embrace life and the blessing that it is. Don't take it for granted.
Granted, I agree.
Right? Because sometimes I think we in the disappointments that might come in our relationships and the lack of fulfillment in some cases, or as we age, we stop investing and
Yeah.
stop doing the things that should help us get across the different stages.
Yeah.
Because
And I
that's
think
important.
that is very key. Is remembering who we are and don't get stuck, because some life can be very difficult, right? So sometimes you get caught in the humbug of all the different things that are happening that you forget about the two people that started out at the beginning before anybody else came in the picture. So
Yeah. So good little reasoning.
Yes.
As always, I could take off because there are a few more things to do here.
Yeah.
And I have to put in a plug for anybody who watches Gwaan. Jump on the Global Jamaica Diaspora Conference tomorrow. It's going to be on YouTube, on Facebook. If you're in Calgary, Vancouver, Montreal, or Toronto, go to the centers as well and meet some people and talk. And who knows, if you're single, you might find somebody. Or well, I meant no promises coming on. But who knows, right?
Who knows? Hey, never know. Never
Anyway, all right. We got next week.
Yes, man. All right. So it could be that them say every dog having day, every puss having 4 o'clock. So who knows? Maybe your day is tomorrow or your 4 o'clock is tomorrow. So join the diaspora conference and maybe you find the love of your life or the like of the time or whatever it is that you put it there, right? But again, just join. It will be happening here in Calgary at the Jamaican Association, located at 3208 8th Avenue Northeast. It's right behind the TNT supermarket, right over there in those little condos. So yeah, join us or online if you can't, but please join and support. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing anybody saying anything about. Sorry, I'm so blind. That's something a little bad does. My sister my sister me like what you say, but me can't read it back. My glasses, I guess my glasses want fix. But brought up is about your upbringing. So when people say it, it means bring up good. As with Jamaican, we say you drag up, get no home training. So that's what it means. It's about your decorum, this upbringing, display of decorum. So when you not behave properly, they say no brought up say. Thank you, Senicia. She said something about nana manners and something. Oh my God, seriously, I need to fix my glasses because I'm not seeing anybody's. I'm not seeing. Big up yourself, that person who's on my screen now. Oh my God. It's so tiny. I'm not seeing, but thanks for commenting. Thanks for engaging. I need to change my glasses. But next week, so brought up, see, so when somebody say you're not brought up, see, you mean you're not bring up properly. So remember, this is a new word. If you've never heard it before, write it down in your little journal where you're keeping of all the patois word. If you haven't heard it in a long time, this is a reminder that the word still exists and people still actually use it. And find a way if you use it some way, or with somebody this week. All right. So for next week's show, The topic will be on the perspectives from young Jamaican professionals. Next week, we will add some youth energy to the program, and Janelle Senior and Candice Constantine will join us to give their perspectives as young Jamaican professionals. How do they see the work culture in Jamaica and Canada, the opportunities, the challenges, and their outlook for themselves? Is migration the option? What should change to make it even more attractive for young professionals? We'll hear from them directly. So please plan to join, grab your coffee, tea, your cocoa tea, come on out and join us for another week of engaging conversation. You are able to now share your message with us here on Gwaan National while we share our stories and experiences. Advertise with us as we grow. Contact us via watagwan.ca or on any of our social media handles, and those are Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. You can connect with us through our email at watagwancnd@gmail.com. And as always, remember, Gwaan is 2 A's. Remember to make us go bigger, bigger, bigger. And you do that again by following, liking, sharing. Share it like good food, like good, anything you have good and you want to share it, good news, like you just win the lotto and you want everybody to know. I wouldn't suggest letting everybody know that you won the lotto though, but share what I go on like you would share your good news. So check out the website and you can send us an email or you can contact us through any of those social media handles. And it has come to the end of another show. Yes, we had some technical difficulties, but as usual, technology, it works sometimes it not work, but it was one of those things. I hope you enjoyed the show. And as we sign off for another week, it's your girl from Bongo Town saying, walk good and see you next week.